Morning, guys. I am just recording Ask a Lifestyle Coach 5 questions where I do it timed. So I get a minute per question. And if you saw last week's, I wasn't strict enough with myself. So today we're going to be super strict. If you want the longer version, I've put out the longer version already. So, or as well, I'm not sure. They'll both be up at the same time. All right, so let's do it. So 5 questions, 5 minutes. I'm going to stop after I've had a minute to answer. Okay, so question 1, why did you become a coach? Okay, I became a coach because I had a defining moment in my life, which made it virtually impossible to go back to my career as it was while I was rehabilitating. So I looked to the skills that I had from my career, and I thought about what would really suit me now that I had this, condition to take into account. And I used to be I used to work in interior design, and I've also got qualifications in interior design. So I thought, I'd love to do that, setting up my own business. And but the thing that I've always had a really strong point for throughout my career is being like an organizer, a coordinator. So I just thought about how much I enjoyed that. Oh, we're going to run out soon. I thought about how much I enjoyed that, and I decided that I'm just going to pause. I wasn't just, I wasn't going to follow my old career of interior design strictly. I wanted to, start, specializing in decluttering and organizing. And then the fitness came along because part of my rehabilitation involved a lot of exercise, which I made myself a schedule, and I stuck to it. And it was so good for my rehabilitation that I also went and qualified as a fitness instructor. So when I formed my business, I thought, you know what, my rehabilitation hasn't just been about exercise, and it hasn't just been about decluttering and organizing and cleaning and, trying to kind of move forward in terms of my lifestyle projects. It's, also been very much about exercise, and the exercise has helped me to deal with things like, high anxiety. Okay, so I've not stuck to 1 minute, but we'll try on the next one. Okay, so question. Values versus goals. What's more important? Okay, start. Okay, so I place values above goals. So once you've worked out what your values are and what you need in terms of your career, in terms of a relationship, in terms of a new home, all sorts of, different things we might consider. Ooh, the birds are really loud. Anyway, I'm losing time here. So I would work out what my values are first, which are the things that are really important to me as a person, and they're the things that, I want to follow through in my life. Then I set goals around those values or around that new direction, or, so instead of setting myself a goal, for example, I need to throw away any clothes that I'm not using for my job because they're taking up too much space. Well, actually, I have to think about the fact that, what are my goals here? Does it make sense to throw all those things away, or does it make sense to look at, the different areas of my life where I might need different styles and different items, and then think about reducing the amount of items in that category, as opposed to saying I'll get rid of all my shoes, or unless you can never wear shoes, say high heels. I do know someone who, anyway, I've gone well over now. Just gonna say, I know someone who has high heels and they love them, but actually they've been advised that they need to wear, trainers and flat shoes because they've got certain joint issues. So they don't want to declutter well, they've decluttered some. But part of that is letting go of part of their personality, or the way they perceive their personality as part of their style. So it's really difficult. But essentially, the values that person holds dear are things like their health. Oh, I've lost my clock, let me just get my clock back. You know, instead of high heels and things like that, you know, their health is more of a priority, their mobility is more of a priority. So they're slowly starting to let go of the collection. And it's just about, you know, it is a big identity shift. So, you know, but once they realize their values were their health and their movement, then their goal was to, you know, remove things that didn't align with that kind of, you know, lifestyle. Okay, stop talking. It's okay, we've got another ask a lifestyle coach coming up, so maybe I'll be able to do it in time. Okay, so this is a long question, but I'll give a fast answer. I started decluttering my bedroom and I got lots done. Then I got distracted with important things. Now I've only got half the job done and I don't want to look at it. What do you suggest? Okay, so I suggest you remind yourself why you're doing it. Think about what inspired you in the first place. You know, was it hearing someone, you know, was it listening to a decluttering and organising video like this, where someone's talking about it and how they love it, and then you, or someone saying, look at the cobwebs, look at the dirt, and you're looking around your room saying, oh sugar, you know, that actually matches what I'm looking at here. Those kind of things do motivate us. They make us think twice. You know, so try and think about things that kind of speak to you. Remind yourself as well, you've done half the job. You dug deep before, you kept on task and you did half the job. Do it again one more time, same amount of time, you know, other half of the room. By this evening, you could be sitting in a lovely fresh space and really enjoying it and feeling calm and relaxed. So look back to, you know, what inspired you, pause, and look forward to where it will take you if you see this task through, and, you know, set a time for yourself. So very quickly, you know, I set myself approximately an hour minimum. And then I find once I'm an hour in, I'm like, actually, I've moved all this stuff out, getting all the dust out, and I'm like, carry on. So, you know, it can actually, finding your momentum, finding your flow when you're doing these jobs, it just picks up and it picks up and it picks up as you focus. Whereas if you say to yourself, oh, I'll do a bit, oh, I'll stop now. Oh, and then you really, if you're honest with yourself, you did like 15 minutes and then you just felt a bit overwhelmed. That's not the same. So set a time, like, you know, a minimum, I will do this for an hour. But it sounds like you may need to set yourself aside a bit more than that. But just think about how you feel at the end. Okay. I don't know. I'm not very good at answering in 1 minute. Okay. Do you deal with hoarding projects? Start. Depends what scale we're discussing. So I think, you know, if it's a serious hoard, you know, yeah, it's a really serious problem, which is just, you know, the person is, you know, so distressed and they really can't kind of make headway, then I think that's the point when we'd be looking at therapy. You know, might be looking at someone who specializes in hoarding, you know, focused on hoarding. So in that sense, I'm not, you know, I don't specialize in hoarding as in on a grand scale, but I do work with people who have collections, you know, lots of, it might be books, paperwork, artwork, real collectors, you know, might actually sometimes, and some of the easiest jobs, you know, are when it's actually, they're collecting, you know, people are collecting recycling and items like that, because then I can just say to them, minute over, right, let's take this to the charity, let's recycle this. And then I can get on with doing, you know, cleaning up certain areas, you know, might even want to do a bit of interior design. It really depends what the client's goal is. So the client might say, my goal is to decorate this kitchen. Not only can I help them with decoration if that's what they want, and I also know people who can, you know, in the trade. But on top of that, you know, so that's our purpose, that's what we're working towards. And then I'll use different techniques for us to work, you know, to get there. You you know, so you know, I'm quite happy if someone says, look, I've just got, my house has got out of control, there's rubbish everywhere, I don't know what to do. You know, if they want me to come in and remove that for them, and they're not, you know, it's not personal items per se, it's just overwhelm that's led to a, you know, a situation where they've just got such stuff everywhere. You know, those are quite, you know, we can gain momentum quite quickly when we're looking at, say, collectors, or we're looking at someone who's bereaved, for example. You know, these are very personal objects, and we're going to tackle them in a different way and look at them in a different way. Okay, so I've gone over my minute, but I guess the point I'm making is, to an extent, I do hoarding projects, but it depends what the scale is, you know, and also if the building's structurally sound. If the building has been, you know, compromised by the weight of the items, then we need to start thinking of having other services involved, you know, to help deal with that volume. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is always to contact me if you have a project in mind, and just ask me, and I'll be really honest about, you know, whether it's, you know, Pat would be like a great match, or whether you know, I need to kind of point towards maybe some specialists who, you know, you can research. So yeah, okay, so we've got a last question, 1 minute, we'll see. Okay, I should be able to do this in a minute. Will you do online fitness classes post restrictions? Yes, absolutely. Me personally, I already felt the need for a market prior to restrictions. You know, when I was going through my diagnosis and my rehabilitation, I wasn't comfortable with it being able to get on transport and various things. So the idea of meeting a wonderful fitness instructor, or, you know, wanting to do a decluttering and organising project, and my, you know, the person being on the other side of the city or the country, you know, that kind of travel. Say the client was coming to me, for example, or I was traveling to the client, you know, it might not be very accessible. They might be, you know, my client might be more comfortable doing the exercise in their own home and beaming me in. You know, some people like to do virtual decluttering projects where they let me into one room. They don't necessarily, you know, I'm not coming through the whole house and seeing everything, but they're letting me in bit by bit what they want me to, you know, work on with them. Oh, my time has gone off, so I assume that means I've run out of time. Yes. So anyway, the answer to that is yes, I'll be doing decluttering and organising projects and fitness online, one-to-one. I also do group sessions when it comes to fitness as well. And so yeah, I think there's more. See, restrictions have really shown us that when people are stuck and they can't get out, you know, it's been a great service. But there are always people who find it challenging in life to get out and about, you know, pre-lockdown, pre the notion of lockdown. So I absolutely want to turn up for, you know, people who want to stay in their personal space, as well as I'm very much here for people who want me to come into their personal space and work with them. Okay, I hope I've answered all the questions. It should be quicker than the long answers, but I don't know, because I've absolutely stolen loads of time. I didn't go over, yeah, I did, because I kept pausing the time. Anyway, it's just a little challenge. This one I'll have to keep practicing. All right, well, I'm going to be live on Instagram answering the same questions again, so we'll see how quickly I do it then. And if you want to speak to me live, then you'll have the option to do that too. So yeah, I hope you're feeling enthused to do declutter and organise, or to go outside and do some exercise, or to spend some time in nature. All right then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.